July 24th, 2010, 2 o'clock p.m. Risky's out doing some scouting, so Dean and I are going to walk down the end of the trail here where it's washed out from the river flooding or the creek flooding, mostly during the winter probably. We're going to see what's down here. I'll film for a couple of minutes and then see if we can locate any evidence. The valley drops down to the creek area. Beautiful day. It's about 80 degrees. Perfect weather to be out. Last night, night ops was really uneventful. We've been talking about the full moon, and it was a full moon last night, and the forest was dead quiet. We've been speculating that when the full moon's out, the critters, the potential meals for predators, are not going to be as active because the moonlight provides so much more light for predators to utilize. And then the moon set about 3 a.m. and Risky was outside sleeping, and he said the forest came alive. Once the moon set, the critters decided it was time to be out and about.
The owls were active.
The owls were just a hooting and a hollering. And so night ops during a full moon, we're starting to think might not be a good idea if the small critters are not out and about. The predators probably are less likely to be out and about as well until after the moon sets, where the ones that see well at night have an advantage. So we're going to file that in our data bank for information. We used to think a full moon was an opportune time to be squatching because our vision was better. We could see better. Well, it seems like the forest creatures stay tucked away when they know the predatory animals can see better. So, that being said, here we are taking a walk down the trail, down the forest road I should say, down to this washed out area where you can't go much further. Risky drove down here earlier today, and he says there's a slide onto the road that just makes it completely impassable, which means maybe a hike past that where people aren't going, in vehicles anyway, might produce a little evidence. So we'll see how it is when we get there. And we've walked down for a couple minutes after my last shot, and we came across these impressions at the top of the hill here overlooking the forest road, almost as if something sat right there, put its feet down, and just cooled its heels right there. Now there's no toe marks or anything, and there probably wouldn't be. This soil is so dry and slippery. I barely made it up here. I'm probably about 8 feet up, and maybe something just sat right there and cooled its heels. And if you notice what it may have been looking at, like what Dean pointed out, is through those trees is a good view of the mountain. Not right here. Maybe it just cooled its heels and looked at the mountain. Huh, it's interesting. Hard to say what it could be, but boy, I just can imagine something just sitting there putting its feet down. Now it's pretty far away from the edge, so it had to be something with big feet or big legs. It's just something that's very interesting. Well, here we are a few minutes later, just working our way down this forest road. It's pretty washed out up here. I didn't film it when we went by, but very dangerous for a vehicle to get by because half the road is basically fallen off into the valley down here. So needless to say, there's not going to be a lot of vehicular traffic from that point, about 50 yards away, down this forest road, or what's left of this forest road. And that's a good thing for us because that less people means maybe increased likelihood of a creature like Sasquatch to feel comfortable and, you know, do its thing down here.
It's an easy place for him to walk too.
Yes, we've always said a large animal that we know it is who obviously has a high caloric requirement, is going to want to burn as little fuel as possible. And why not use the roads that are already here, especially if he knows they're not being used. Look at the overgrowth here already starting down the center. And you can see where this area right here that we're approaching is already fallen down into the valley a little bit. And eroded away.
This might be the rock slide he was talking about.
Yeah, might have been the rock slide that Risky was telling us about earlier. I'm going to pan up into the woods a lot, down into the valley for all of our viewers out there. If you see something we don't, be sure to email me, mojo@wassert.com, and say, hey Mojo, at this minute and this second mark, you missed Bigfoot up there giving you the finger. And
This spot is beautiful right here. I got a breeze coming down.
oh, this is so, the temperature just dropped 10 degrees right here.
I feel like I'm in Jurassic Park here. Just real primitive.
Oh, on a hot day, oh my gosh, 10 degrees easily, it just dropped off. Oh, it feels so good. You got some water coming down here?
Yep. Nice
It
breeze
just
coming down.
feels so good. Now, if I was a big, hairy, bipedal Sasquatch that likes giving researchers a finger, and I needed to cool off. Okay, he really didn't give us the finger. But anyway, boy, this is where I cool my heels. Hell yeah. Oh, this feels good. And with the water and everything, the soil's a little damp, and you'd hope for better prints if there were any.
Look around.
But it's so many rocks.
Get some moss in here.
Boy, I tell you, just now, did we figure out where this water could be coming from? A glacier or?
Well, I drove to the top of the mountain up to Suntop, and all the snow's melted off this peak. So this is all from spring or something. There's no snow melt anymore.
No natural lake or anything up there, you think?
There may be a lake. I don't know, but it's so steep. It's hard to imagine it would be of any size.
Okay, we're going to move on and see what we can see down the road. And we'll be back in a minute, I'm sure.